What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here for your Royal Rumble 2017 preview and predictions for the big pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. And now I have a personal connection to the Royal Rumble this year because, as you guys know, if you are a viewer of this channel, I am going to WrestleMania 33 as I did 32. So for me, the Royal Rumble has a lot of implications, and I have a lot of heavy thoughts on what's going to happen and what I want to happen and what should happen, and also what I really don't want to see. So overall, this pay-per-view, especially the Royal Rumble, is a big pay-per-view, and it's a huge turning point for the WWE heading into WrestleMania season. It's one of the most exciting pay-per-views every single year, no matter how bad or how predictable it can be at times. The Royal Rumble is always very hyped up, and I think this year in particular, it's one of the most hyped up Royal Rumbles I can remember in recent memory. Because, why? It's a Royal Rumble, but it's unpredictable this year. I mean, the last couple of years, we've had very predictable finishes. Last year, Triple H kind of called that a couple weeks before it even happened. And then we had Roman Reigns, Batista, John Cena. I mean, there's been a lot of predictable finishes for the Royal Rumble match in particular. There have been really great matches every once in a while. We had a CM Punk versus The Rock. That was a really great match. We also had Rollins, Lesnar, Cena. That was a great match. We've had some great matches at the Royal Rumble, but the Royal Rumble match has kind of been a stinker, and that's what everybody looks forward to at the Royal Rumble because it's so special, it's so unique, and it's definitely my favorite pay-per-view besides WrestleMania, even though, like I said, it hasn't been the second best consistently the last few years. But I'm going to give you my predictions, my thoughts on every match, every wrestler, every character, and where I think they should head going forward with every single feud and story. So let's start off with the women's kickoff match, which is Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. This is one of two women's kickoff matches that is going to happen on this show. This is one that is the secondary Raw feud between Nia Jax and Sasha Banks. Do I care about this? Not really, because, I'm not a huge fan of the Raw product right now. I think it's way too much wrestling. I think it's terrible writing, and the characters really are awful. They have no charisma or character to speak of. They have no direction or storyline with the shows, and the matches are dull and repetitive. So for me, I'm not really a huge fan of Raw, but this feud in particular and these wrestlers, I want to see what Nia can do going forward. I want to see if she can be that monster heel. So for me, I think a big win for Nia would be huge here. I know it's a kickoff match, but I think Nia needs to win this match. I don't really see the excuse for Sasha Banks winning. I know that she was flip-flopping the titles with Charlotte, and they really want to keep her strong going forward, but she is still injured, which plays into the storyline that Nia Jax can beat her up and win this match. So for me, I'm going to go with Nia Jax. I really don't see a way where Sasha needs to win this match. She really doesn't at this point. I do think that Sasha needs to look strong in terms of she's not going to give up and she's going to persevere, because there have been times with her character where they've really thrown that out of the window entirely. Think back to Survivor Series. But anyways, I think Nia Jax is going to win this match. Then we go to the Raw Tag Team Championships, which is Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Jobber Club, The Club, Gallows and Anderson. These two guys I am not a fan of at all. You can do whatever you want in Japan, but if you come here in WWE and your character is awful from the very outset, you have no charisma to speak of, you put on okay matches, but I'm not intrigued to watch them, I don't care about the club. WWE has done a terrible job of writing for the club. They've done a terrible job of setting their characters up and moving them forward and getting them wins that actually matter. So for me, I can care less about this match. This is a piss break for me. This is a match that I probably will not even watch. That being said, I think Cesaro and Sheamus need to win this match, and they need to start being more creative with the Cesaro and Sheamus story and characters. We saw a couple cool segments with them in the past, with some bar fights and things of that nature, but we need to get more out of their characters. The last couple of weeks, they have just been very stale, and they've been doing the same repetitive matches. We need more from the tag team division on Raw, and that being said, a title change is not going to help at this moment in time. I'm going with Cesaro and Sheamus. The next match is the Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Naomi, versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. This is a match I'm actually interested in. First off, it's a SmackDown match, which has me already more intrigued because SmackDown is a better put together show on the whole. But also, these are 3 women on each side that have a compelling story and character going forward. We have the whole thing with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Becky Lynch. That's intriguing. Mickie James is back. This is going to be her first official match back in the WWE, not including NXT, of course. We have Nikki Bella and Natalya, which has been an awesome, awesome match. And I hope right out the offset, maybe they're not even in the match because they fight each other before the match even happens and they take each other out. That would be amazing. You also have Naomi and the whole Alexa Bliss situation. Maybe Naomi here picks up the victory on Alexa Bliss, setting up a future feud. So that's where I would go with this match. I'd have Naomi pick up the win because she's back, she's ready, she's healthy, and I think they need to start creating a compelling character for her. Something that Naomi's never really had in her WWE run or life so far is that she has never had a character that has worked for her, and they've never really pushed her in a proper direction. She's very athletic. I think she has a cool entrance, and she has some things going for her, but I think you need to give her something compelling to work with, and I just don't think they've done that yet. But a win against the champion potentially could be a start to the run for Naomi. I'm not saying she needs to be champion, but build this wrestler up. You've already built up everybody else in this match. Now it's time for Naomi to shine. So give Naomi the win here. Now let's move on to some of the bigger matches. The Cruiserweight Championship, Rich Swann versus Neville. Neville needs to win. I think it's simple as that. It's end of story. Neville is the man. I've been booking Neville as the beast of the Cruiserweight division 6 months ago before they even decided to do that. I'm very happy that he's on this card because I like watching Neville perform. I'm also very happy that they have started to give him a push. If there's anyone that can save this Cruiserweight division, it is Neville, the king of the Cruiserweights. I think they need to refocus his direction or this feud in particular if they're going to continue this feud. Get away from the country hates me sort of stuff. I don't understand that. Continue with the king of the Cruiserweights thing. That's excellent. Continue with that. Cruiserweights suck right now, but as far as Neville goes, I'm a fan, so give Neville the victory. Next, the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair faces Bayley. Okay, so Charlotte has not lost ever in the WWE at a pay-per-view whatsoever. She's not lost at a pay-per-view. She hasn't lost to Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, The Rock, Stone Cold, Sting, Mick Foley, Bret Hart, Triple H, The Undertaker. She has not lost at a pay-per-view to Trish Stratus, anybody. Whatever, I don't know. She hasn't lost at all. She hasn't lost to her dad, Ric Flair. She's not going to lose anytime soon. I don't think she's going to lose until WrestleMania. The way I would book it is that you build Charlotte up as this unstoppable machine, which I think they have really done a poorly job of doing that. But you start here, and you continuously drive home the fact that she is undefeated at pay-per-views. She's the clutch performer. She's the Tom Brady of wrestling? No, of pay-per-views. She's the Tom Brady of pay-per-views. She is the Michael Jordan of WrestleManias. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But Charlotte, you can continue this pay-per-view streak. And I think it would be very wise for them to do that. I think she wins this match. I think it's fairly simple here. Bayley has beaten her twice. Charlotte needs a rebound. Bayley is going to continuously beat her on TV. I think that's where they're going to go, despite I don't think that they really should do that. They should try and avoid them wrestling each other as much as possible. But I think that Bayley is eventually going to get her shine, and I think it's going to be at WrestleMania. So build Charlotte as that heel up until WrestleMania to get that big payoff for Bayley. Even though I don't really like Bayley that much, I think that's what you need to do. And also, Charlotte has been an awesome heel for this division. But I'm going to go with Charlotte to win this match, build her up to WrestleMania, get the payoff with Bayley at WrestleMania. Next, Universal Championship. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, no disqualification match. And oh yeah, Chris Jericho, a 40-plus-year-old man, is stuck in a shark cage. This is 1970s wrestling if I've ever seen it before. I mean, This is ridiculousness. Why is Chris Jericho stuck in a shark cage? The Raw writing is stuck back in 1977. I don't know what they're doing. They need to get with the times. Something's gonna happen where I think Chris Jericho is gonna help Kevin Owens win some fashion or form. Or they could do this a number of ways, which is the reason why I'm intrigued with this match. It's not particularly the wrestlers or the writing. The only reason I am interested in this match, because there's been no story to speak of, and I really am not digging either character at this point. I do like Chris Jericho, but Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, they're not doing it for me. They're not pushing the buttons. So for me, Kevin Owens, I think, is probably going to win this match. That's who I'm going to go with here. I think it's going to be with Chris Jericho helping him win. But I think Chris Jericho is going to be, either way, if Roman wins, he is going to be in the victor's favor. So if Chris Jericho somehow screws it up for Kevin Owens, then Roman Reigns wins. But if never mind. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I think it makes more sense. I think this is where you finally start the Chris Jericho-Kevin Owens feud. So that is why I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I could see it going either way, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. First off, because it's Roman Reigns and you don't bet against Roman Reigns. I forgot that number one rule. But second of all, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho needs to start sometime soon. Why not start it after this pay-per-view? Get something going for Raw that's intriguing. So Roman Reigns will win this match. But the interesting thing is it going to be Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, Roman Reigns versus Strowman, Roman Reigns versus Cena? What are we going to get for Roman Reigns? Stay tuned. Okay, so the WWE Championship, AJ Styles versus John Cena. This is the match, that singles match or a match not involving the Royal Rumble, that I think will be the most exciting, and I think it will probably be the best match of the night. So there's a number of intriguing factors to this. John Cena is back, and he is looking for his 16th World Championship. What do you do with John Cena at WrestleMania? Do you have John Cena win the world title at WrestleMania? Do you have him win it now? Do you have him drop the title at Elimination Chamber? The WWE title is already going to be at the Elimination Chamber, and I have a crazy mind F of a game plan here. I can see it going multiple ways. If I was the WWE, what I would do is go a couple of ways here. I think I would rather have... You could go a couple ways. Okay, so you have Styles, Cena, and you could have Cena win, and you could have Taker win the Royal Rumble. That's easy, that's simple, and that's money-making. You could also have Cena win or lose, and then whoever wins this match drops the title at the Elimination Chamber to Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt takes the title at the Elimination Chamber, and Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble, setting up a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania for Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. You could do that, or you could have Bray Wyatt win the Rumble and Orton win the Elimination Chamber. Either way, that works. You could also have AJ Styles face Shane McMahon, which is in the rumors at WrestleMania. You could have AJ Styles win the match, and you could have Undertaker win, and you could have that match at WrestleMania. You could have Goldberg versus Cena. I don't know. There's a number of different ways you could go with this. Goldberg versus Cena would be interesting, actually. I never really thought of that until I said it. You could have Finn Balor come back, and I think he would probably stay on Raw. You could have... there's a lot of different things that you could do here. I think it's the most unpredictable match because you have so many different avenues to go. Both of these matches are extremely unpredictable. That's including the Royal Rumble match. But the WWE Championship match, man, you could have so many different things. You could even have Cena versus Joe, which I heard is also maybe in the plans. So you could have Cena versus Joe. But does that need to be for the title? I don't think so. Because Cena versus Styles has already happened. Maybe Cena versus Joe. There are so many different things you could do. AJ versus Orton, AJ versus Taker, AJ versus Shane. Oh, there's so many different possibilities. It's blowing my mind up. If I had to pick, like I said with Roman Reigns, you don't bet against John Cena, so I'm going to go with John Cena. Also, I want to see Cena versus Taker. I think it would be a cool match regardless. And maybe what you could even do is like, yeah, I want the Taker wins the title at WrestleMania and retires thing to happen. But that's just me. I also would love to see the Bray Wyatt story because I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. Now let's get to the Royal Rumble match in particular. I basically discussed it already, but I have a couple categories here, and I think a lot of people are confused. There are the people that can actually win the Royal Rumble, and then there are the people that the internet will think will win the Royal Rumble. So the guys that the internet will think will win the Royal Rumble is Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and Finn Balor. These three aren't happening because Finn Balor, I think, is just not ready to come back. You could possibly have him win the Royal Rumble. I understand why you would. I would have him challenge Roman Reigns for the title and win it at WrestleMania. That's what I would do with Finn Balor for the Universal title. You have Samoa Joe, who I think has no chance of winning the Royal Rumble. He could come out at the Royal Rumble, but I just don't see WWE having long-term goals with Samoa Joe. I don't think he's a guy, personally, that I would model my business around, especially being in TNA, the face of TNA for so long, and not really being a huge ratings draw there. Sami Zayn is not a top guy. I'm sorry, guys. He is a mid-carder at best, and I just don't think he is ever going to be a WWE champion, and he just doesn't look like a star. The number one thing that Vince McMahon always says, you need to look like a star to be a star, and Sami Zayn is just simply not that. Undertaker, Goldberg, Lesnar, Miz, Jericho, Orton, and Bray Wyatt are the only guys that can win the Royal Rumble. That is a lot of guys. So Undertaker could win, face Cena. Undertaker could also win and face Reigns. Those are the two possibilities for that. Goldberg could win and face Cena. Goldberg could also win and face Reigns maybe, but I don't see that happening. I think it's Goldberg and Lesnar. I think Taker will probably win. Miz would be interesting. Could Miz face Styles? That would be interesting. Could Miz face nobody on Raw? I wouldn't see that happening. Jericho could easily win and face Owens. That could happen. Jericho, if he won, that would be the only way. Orton could win and face Bray, and Bray could win and face Orton. I think those are the only logical things for those guys. So for me, I don't think it will be Goldberg and Lesnar, but I want it to be Taker or Bray or Orton or Bray. Those are the three guys I want to win. For me, I'm going to go with Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble because I think that's probably the most intriguing option. So I'm going to go with the Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble to face rather Reigns or Cena. Either way, I would have Undertaker win the Royal Rumble. I would have him win the title on either brand and drop it after WrestleMania. So for me, that's my predictions for the Royal Rumble 2017. I went through a lot of different scenarios. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, Gronk spike that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more WWE content. We have reviews basically every single day of the week, every wrestling show there is for WWE. We have reviews, we have previews, we have topic videos on the WWE. So if you're a WWE fan or a wrestling fan in general, look at our channel's content. Check it out, see if you like it, and subscribe if you do. Thanks, guys, for watching, and peace out.